Today we're going to be doing part 2 of the homestead building projects and building the front porch for the RV. So stay tuned. Hello folks, welcome back to Pine Meadows Hobby Farm. I'm your host Jerry Hansen. Today we're doing part 2 of the Homestead Building Project series, and this project today we're going to be constructing the 4 posts on which the roof sits, and we're going to be constructing the roof. So let's go ahead and get started, but before I do that, let me point out that you'll see variations of me with a beard and without a beard. You'll see a grizzly old man building stuff, and then you'll see a smooth-faced guy that looks like he needs to go through puberty again. Yep, it's been taking me 2-3 months to do this whole project. Painting is a long, tedious process because I have to do 2 coats on each surface, and we're doing it in the greenhouse where we have a little bit of heat. So let's get part 2 started. Okay, the next project I'm going to be working on is the roof joists. I'm going to cut these little 2x3s. Yeah, that's right, I said 2x3s because it's not a big surface area, but it's going to be reinforced. We're going to plant one on top of it so it's stable enough to be able to take care of all of the snow load that should come on there, and of course the rain. So I'm going to cut these in 6-foot lengths, and as I put it together you'll understand why I'm doing it in 6-foot lengths. And we're going to go ahead and save these because I have a special project for these. Okay, I have 5 2 by 3 inch by 6 foot long ceiling joists. I'm going to go ahead and take these and put them in the greenhouse for painting. And these 2 8-foot 2x4s are the fascia on both ends of the porch roof. So we're going to go ahead and take these to the greenhouse, and we're going to paint these also. Now I have 4 8-foot long 4x4 posts, and of course these are going to be the 4 uprights that hold the roof up. These will be mounted to the deck surface of the porch, and they'll be also intertied with railings, and we'll get to that point later. But right now I want to notch these boards like I did the porch deck posts. We're going to notch it so the 2x6 is resting on the posts that's supporting the roof, instead of on fixed to the side where it's a weak joint. So we're going to just go ahead and mark this and notch it. Okay, I have all the 4x4 posts lined up even, and I'm going to line this 2x6 up, a scrap piece, and use it as my guide to scribe in a line. Now we're going to set the depth of the saw because I don't want to cut any deeper than a 2x6. Now we're plugged in and ready to go. So this will give you an illustration on how this is going to set in there, just like that. So the weight is going to go down onto the board and just fasten to this part of the wood. Okay, now I'm done with this. I'll set it aside, and I'm going to cut these to length. 2 of them are going to be 8 foot, and 2 of them are going to be 7 foot. Okay, heads up when you're buying lumber from the lumber mill or from the hardware store. The lumber is always a little bit longer than 8 foot or 6 foot or whatever length you're buying, 10 foot, 12 foot. So make sure when you're building to measure the length of your boards before you start throwing it together, because nothing is going to come out straight if you do that. So one board came out 8 foot 1 inch, and the other one came out right at 8 foot. So we're going to trim this one off. Okay, the 8 footers are done. It's time to trim for the 7 footers. Okay, there was a sheet and a half of plywood. I bought 3 sheets of plywood total. You notice I remember in the last video I put 1.5 sheets of plywood on the deck, and we're going to do 1.5 sheets of plywood on the top. So one full sheet measures 4 foot by 8 foot, and then the other sheet measures 2 feet by 8 foot. Now the trusses or the roof joists, they're 2x6s because it's a small roof. It's got a short span. It can handle the snow load in our area. And these 2x6s are cut to 6 feet in length. And so let's get this thing assembled. For this project, I'm going to set a screw every 2 feet because we're also going to be using long screws to secure the roofing on also. So that is going to be an additional securing. Let's see. Okay, I set these joists every 2 feet. And now I got these 2 8-foot long 2x4s for the fascia on the top end and the lower end. So we're going to screw them in with Now you notice I made it level with the surface of the deck of the roof, because well, there's a reason why I did that. And I don't mind the screws showing because there's going to be a drip edge coming down over the top of this and covering those screws, and those will be painted. The drip edge will be painted accordingly. So let's get this other strip on. Now that I got base of the roof assembled, I got these little brackets on which is going to mount the 4x4 posts on each corner. So we're just going to set this right here and screw them down in the 4 places that they allotted us for screws. Now I got the posts. I'm going to do the 8-foot long ones first. And now I got the beams. These are 8 foot long, and one will go on each side, and one will go here. Now let's see if I can lift it myself. So I got the front one in place. I'm not going to fasten it down yet. I want to measure for the rails, because those are going to be my super supports to keep it upright and stable. Yeah, so I'm going to put the roof on also. So we're going to do that another day. I'm losing light. It's getting cold out. I need to go finish some projects in the house, and we'll start this in a couple of days because I got to work tomorrow. So we'll be right back in a video second. Okay, I'm back to finish the roof. When Jeremy gets home, he's going to help me hoist the roof in place. Right now I have the rails, which will stabilize the posts. They're in the greenhouse getting painted right now, and once they're painted, I'll go ahead and trim them down, and then I'll get the posts done. In the meantime, I resourced some metal roofing material from my resource pile. Yep, every homestead should have a resource pile. Now this is special. This roofing was leftovers from when Discovery Channel sent Marty Rainey with his family over to our homestead, and they put a new roof on our house in an episode called Homestead Rescue, Honey, I Torched the Homestead. And he showed me this neat trick. Since I have to cut the metal, he showed me this trick of taking a skill saw, yep, regular skill saw blade, and flipping it around to run in reverse. And we'll just cut the metal with that. Let me show you. Ear protection. Ooh, gotta protect my hearing. It's gonna get loud. I'll turn the volume down on this for you guys so it won't blast you out of your headsets. Okay, I got my measurements already done. I got my lines drawn. So now we're gonna go ahead and cut. Okay, I got all my pieces cut. Now I had that one 14-foot long piece, so I just cut it down into 70 inches because I get a 4-inch overhang on this end and about a 2.5-inch overhang on that end, which is what I want. That's the low side, and that'll be plenty. Then I gotta just put a what do you call it, drip guard around there. So we're gonna go ahead and square this up and get it placed. I didn't have any, I just had that one full sheet, and then I had 2 long strips of various widths. I got the short width, this narrow width, and this other little bit foot wide length. And I just trimmed them down same length as the standard size tin here. And it'll give me enough material to cover the whole roof. I just have to piece it together, but this is a small project. It'll look fine from below and from far away. Okay, I'm ready to fasten it down. I got my hex bit, and I've got my screws that are colored accordingly, so we'll be able to fasten them. Okay, the roof is completed. It's completely assembled. Now I just have to go into the greenhouse and paint some more boards for the rails, because the rails is what's going to support my upright posts and support the roof and keep it from wobbling. And I'm also going to be creative and put some corner brackets in. I'll have to make those and paint those up. Anyway, we're going to make it nice and pretty. Okay, it's a little bit too warm in here for a coat, so I'm just going to go ahead and take it off. Let's see, hanging on the doorknob. The greenhouse is a perfect environment for painting. I just want to make sure I paint all the edges, all the surfaces of these boards. Now I have 3 2x4s that are 8 foot long. I have not trimmed yet. I got to hack off the ends, and I got to measure the space on which they go first before I can trim those. But I've got to research on the computer the specs on rails, because they have to be so high off the ground. The handrail has to be so far up, and the slats can only be so far apart. There's all kinds of codes, and this is according to the, I believe, the International Building Code that's been observed throughout history. I noticed that in the ancient Roman architecture, where they have banisters and rails and stuff, they all followed the same pattern of the spacing for the rail height and the slat width for millennium. So it's a safety issue. So little children can't roll off underneath the rail, and they won't fall through the slats in the rail, and the rail's too high for them to accidentally fall over the rail, because you know how intelligent children are. Yep. You know how intelligent some adults are too. Yep. Okay, we finished that surface. I want to put a second coat on there later, but remember what I told you about storing the wet paintbrush in the plastic bag? Well, this is the same brush I've been using for 2 weeks in painting this project, and I haven't washed the brush out once. I just wrap it in that plastic bag. When this is dry, I come back out, grab it out, start painting again. It's perfect. I just save time from having to wash that silly brush out. So I've got some more projects going on while the paint's drying. I'm going to go on to those, and I'll be back in a video second, and we'll go ahead and finish painting this. And we'll just wait for Jeremy to get home so he can help me load that roof up either today or tomorrow. See how far I get on this project. So I'm going to go in the house, have a cup of coffee, and wash the paint off. Okay, I now have the handrails and baluster supports, well, not the handrails, but I have the baluster supports cut. And I'll go ahead as I'm installing them and leave the measurements right here. But I'm going to go ahead and install each one, and then we're going to go ahead and lift the roof on as soon as Jeremy gets here. So let's install these. And the bottom baluster holder rail needs to go no more than 4 inches. There needs to be nothing more than a 4-inch gap here. So I'm just using a 2x4, which is actually going to be only a 3.5-inch rise. And I'm using that to set these all the way around so they'll be even. So let's secure that. Now we'll see if we can secure these. And now the top baluster rail. Okay, we got the baluster rails up. Later, I'll cut and paint all the balusters, and then we'll apply those. But right now, I got to finish putting up the balusters, or the baluster rails. Yeah, it'll take two people to lift it. It's light enough, we can handle it. It's just big and awkward. If I was a younger man, yeah, I would probably try to do it myself, which I could. And yeah, so some of you may be wondering why I didn't assemble this up there. The quick answer is, didn't want to. Knew it was going to be light enough the journeyman and I can handle it. Another part of the answer is, I wanted my son to help me with this. I wanted to do something with him. Since this is a project I'm doing special for him, I want him to put a little bit of effort into it also. I'm going to build a duplicate porch for this big RV right here. I've got some of the material. I'll be buying some more material later and then putting it all together and making it an exact replica, except the roofing. The roof will be a different design because I don't have this same kind of roofing anymore. I have another style of roofing. Of course, I may end up just buying new roof for this. I might do that. Just go ahead and buy new roofing material for the other fifth wheel. Oh well. Now we're just waiting for Jeremy to come home. Sorry about the lighting, folks, but the sun's getting ready to go down and Jeremy just got here, so he's going to help me lift this roof up into its place. And then we'll secure it with a couple of straps for tonight. And then I'll finish it up on my next day off because I go back to work tomorrow. Light, we're good. This side goes up the top. This side goes on the bottom. So I left this banister down, so we're going to take that in. And then we're going to tilt it and go through there, and then pass it through the kind of, let's see, let's tilt it. Yeah, see if we can tilt it and pass and prop it up on the front side first. So we're gonna go ahead. See, it's not that heavy, is it? Okay. So how about that? Jeremy came home in time to help me put the roof on, and we got it all put together. I put the supports on for the handrails and the barristers. That's the next project. The next episode is I will be building the stairs, and I will be cutting and painting the barristers for the porch and the handrails. So stay tuned for that episode. I'm your host, Jerry Hansen. This is Pine Meadows Hobby Farm. I want to thank you guys for joining me on this episode of the Homestead Building Projects. Stay tuned for the next one. You could do that by clicking that bell icon up there. That bell icon alerts you to new videos as I upload them. If you haven't already, please subscribe, give me a thumbs up, and leave a comment down below. I enjoy reading your comments. Also, please share our videos on your social media platforms. That really helps us out a lot. And check out my merchandise I'm selling below. That really helps us out for getting some more projects done through the course of next year. We'll see you guys in the next episode. Bye-bye.